Hey, welcome into the 2600 ARP Patchbook series. Today we're on to patch 3. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What did you think? I was just going to like do one video for every single patch? Yeah. That would be crazy town. So today let's have a look here. Patch 3. This is Trucker Bass. So let's get it dialed in, shall we? Sorry, I pressed a button. So we are not using anything over here. It says we should have sound. So let's make sure it changes. And we do. Didn't turn the reverb down though. It wants the reverb much lower. Nice. How about that action, dude? Let me get my pedal effects off. So, basically that's our patch. No instructions. If you want a little more buzzy, open the envelope generator into the filter a little more. Want a little more attack, of course pull the attack down. I was trying to remember that bass line, I always mess it up. Good test of a bass sound. Oh, you hear Boomer barking? So yeah, there we go. Trucker bass. Let's put it in something, shall we? I'm gonna tune this F. Our portamento's on there, that's kind of cool. We'll leave that on. And turn it off. Pretty basic loop, pretty basic sound. So there is our trucker bass. Preset 3, trucker bass. Let's move on to the next one, which is Octabass. We're staying in the bass family here, aren't we? This is Octabass. Patch number 4. And our instructions are open VCF and tune VCO2 to 1 octave below. So we're going to open the voltage controlled filter. One octave below middle C. Close VCF, raise the envelope generator VCF for brightness. Okay, interesting. So 2 octaves below middle C at once. I don't know why that makes a difference, but I guess we should listen. So it should be, this guy should be down low. There it is. And then of course we need to close the VCF, don't we? Close VCF, raise ADR. Closed VCF, oh. And no, this patch, Octabass, still has this up. That should be closed. But see, like I want to do this, but there's nothing, nothing going into. There's no VCA. Here's a guy that doesn't know how to work an ARP 2600. And we're back. So it's like, okay. What have I done wrong? Keyboard. This is tuned 1 octave below middle C. Wait, open VCF, tune VCO2. Okay, yeah, 1 octave below middle C. Could be 1 octave higher. Dang, I'm good. So, I mean, that looks right. Then it says this up and down, and this side to side. But I don't like that there's no, you know, like key control. I never understand when we're not having key control why we do that. Open VCF, tune VCA2, close VCF, and raise ADSR into VCF for brightness. But we've just closed the VCF, so like close the VCF where? Here? Yes. Read the instructions, Andy. And this is a bass, so it should be much lower. Shazoom. Brightness is on our ADSR. Right? Same exact loop. You can do the same exact. preset 4, Octabass. Okay, so now it's time for our next preset, which is Wonder Clavinet, number 5, patch 5. Now, I realized as I'm looking at that like for the past 2 patches, I did not remove our direct line to the reverb. Duh! It's not a big difference. There's a tiny reverb in there. You hear it? And now you don't. So, on we go. Things happen. No big deal, right? So let's look at our next one is number 5, Wonder Clavinet. Now keep in mind, I will get into a bit of a rhythm as we go through these. These early ones, they might be a little bit painful, but here comes the patch. Like Wonder Clavinet. Yeah, cool. Go. So I seem to recall maybe this is there was a clickiness I remember on the second ARP, on ARP number 2. And so let's tune this thing up to middle C then. And so that's, of course, that always there sound, self-oscillating stuff. So it says, for our instructions, it says adjust VCF for brightness, tune VCO2 to middle C. So, like maybe I can trick it with a little portamento and get rid of that click. I can bring up the attack on the envelope generator and get rid of it. So now, let's see, adjust VCF for brightness. So, it's this VCF for brightness. Leave your mixer level there. We already figured that out. Portamento is having fun. So I mean that's a pretty basic sound that you could probably do a lot of different things with. As I dump the extra patches out of my OG patch book. So let's loop. Let's run loop. Keys are loud, yes. There you go, in a loop. So, that definitely sounds like it's supposed to. It should be that kind of a thing. I do wonder though, like, what do they intend for you to do with the playing, since the keys just never cut out, since the sound never stops. Generally it seems like we do that with this. by turning the VCF up and not the VCA, but we got a different patch. We're not doing it that way. So I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments. Okay, this is Wonder Clavinet. It's a little bit noisy because some things I have plugged into the room here are kind of popping through the reverberator. So there's this front end pop that I'm not really sure. But that tone sounds right. So quite interesting that we've got something goofed up bad. So here's preset 5, Wonder Clavinet. So I don't know if the preset's supposed to have this click on the front end of it. I would think not, and I would think that that's a problem that with this old machine. But with Portamento on, I believe that's our Wonder Clavinet. So that's patch, what was that, 4, 5? That was 5. So moving on, patch number 6, string sweetener. Let's patch it up. Okay. Tune VCO 3 to middle C. That's VCO 2, that's our vibrato. So there's middle C. Tune VCO 1 several beats off middle C. Off middle C, that's interesting. And so we can make a bit of vibrato just by detuning them. This has vibrato from VCO 2. Hear that coming in? Same with VCO 3. And that will mess with our speed of the vibrato. Now it says tune VCO 1. Raise VCO 2 into VCO 1 and 3 for we got that. Adjust VCO 2 frequency for we got that too. So, be curious. Again, why can't we just have key control? You know, it's like every patch thing. Maybe like what combination? Whenever I think I have it figured out, I don't. baffling, right? Baffling. As always, tell me in the comments why this sound, why nothing. So I'm trying to like change from the VCA to VCF. Like somewhere, something gates this, but I don't know what it is. Anyways, the patches seems to be the same as the other one. We get our vibrato when we speed up the frequency of oscillator 2. We can mess with the tuning slightly and give it different kind of effects. Hard to do anything with because it's like wobbling everywhere, you know? We know we're in tune, so let's bring in one. One's in tune too. Okay, there you go. So I find that useful in like with this super low. Where is it? Here, this super low. Just barely bring it in. Not too fast. It's like it's a bit more of, it's like a really strong chorus maybe, but I mean it's a string fattener, so, or string sweetener. So you know that's patch 6. Let's hear what happened on ARP number 2. Patch 6 on ARP number 2. So this is the string sweetener. And I got it making sounds, I think doing right. Per the instructions, right? So check back in the thing where I went over the instructions there. But it says about, you know, you've got the final step is adjust VCO2 frequency for the vibrato speed. Look at that. So it's not the most playable sound because I think I have like the pitches like jacked up. And so it ended up this slider is how I ended up getting that pitch to slide. And our pulse width. Also affects that, but I'm not sure how, right? So pretty cool. We're definitely using this oscillator to modulate the frequency of this oscillator. Okay, so we're bringing, here it is. I was going to say, I don't know how or where, but that's it right here. VCO2's sine wave is normaled to this slider right here. So that's why when we bring that in, we start getting the sine wave from VCO2 comes in there. That's pretty cool. All right, patch number 7 is Tubular Chimes. Tubular. There's patch 7 for you. Adjust VCO2 frequency for different bell effects. And I think we have a bell. VCO2 frequency. Ooh. It's not very loud. Here it comes. That's pretty dope. That's how I choose that. Trying to tune it. Like, is that how that works? What's tuning? We're in oscillator 1. There we go. There you go, man. In a loop. That's not a bad sound. Tubular chimes. I wonder what it sounded like on ARP number 2. Let's see. Patch number 7. Tubular chimes. Change initial oscillator frequency of oscillator 2 to get different effects. Tubular chimes. All right. Patch number 8 is violin. Fancy. This is some basic, isn't it? The violin. We're going like the orchestra instrument. So let's set the patch. Okay, so that should be our patch. And as usual, the always there sound. So here's our brightness. VCO2 into 3 is our vibrato. Tune VCO 3 to middle C. Yeah, I think we're close enough. Raise VCO 2 into 3 for vibrato. Adjust frequency on 2 for speed. So it would be nice. Like, is our envelope? Why don't we have any sustain? But we're skipping the envelope, so it's not even there. Is it when, like, wait, those two are supposed to be down? So with a little portamento, it's not too bad. It's like, yeah, so interesting. I can hit the manual start and I can verify this is manual starts the envelope generator. Nothing happens. So just verifies. So let's play this in the loop here. There you are, the violin, patch number 8. I like that sound. I mean, that's kind of drippy. It can get really bright. It can get really dull. I dig it. Let's move on. And of course I do wonder, what does it sound like on ARP number 2? How did that go? And I don't remember, because it was like 12 hours ago that I filmed that. 8 hours? I don't know time. Let's see. This is patch number 8, the violin. And in this patch, we're using oscillator 3 to make our sound, oscillator 2 to control the vibrato of that sound. More vibrato, less vibrato. Let's give it some reverb. Patch 8, violin. Okay, patch number 9. So it's dialed in. It's already patched, actually. I patched it, and it was messed up. And that happens on an old synthesizer, especially when you're learning like I am. So I reset it, did it again. We're back to where I think where we should be. So we're still, again, with this patch, working with an ungated, it's just gonna ring. So I don't know why. I don't know what the real purpose of that is, but it definitely seems to be the case with a couple of these instruments. So we've it says tune to middle C, VCO2 into VCO3 for vibrato. There is our vibrato. Faster, slower, with our frequency of oscillator 2. So again, we're using oscillator 2 as our low frequency oscillator to do something to oscillator 3, which is to manipulate the pitch and give it some vibrato. And then adjust VCO2 frequency for speed. So that's what we're doing right here. So really, for use it in a loop, it's almost the exact same tone as the violin. So I'd use it exactly the same way. We won't go through the process of doing it. I mean, that seems silly. We're going to do like 100 of these patches. So if it's repeatable, it's a thing. Mostly the point of that is to demonstrate, how a particular type sound might get used in the real world. And so this is an easy one, and we've already covered it. So let's move along. That's our English horn oboe. Here it is on the other ARP. If I remember, I think it sounded pretty similar. Patch 9, English horn oboe on ARP 2. Again, we are using oscillator 3 for the tone and oscillator 2 to give it some vibrato. Patch 9, English horn oboe. That brings us to number 10, patch number 10, Fanfare Trumpet. This should be fun. Ba-ba-ba. Let's see what we got with Fanfare Trumpet. So, We're using all 3 oscillators on this one. Nice. Okay. So, and I'm gonna look at the end first. No, that's monster organ. I know, I keep hitting push buttons. Push is very sensitive. For fanfare trumpet, we're using oscillator 2 only. That's all we're doing. I was looking at monster organ. So oscillator 2. That's our patch. Nice. So let's. Brightness is on our slider here, pulling our envelope generator into the VCF. Interesting. Okay. So that's probably kind of adding that bit. Yeah, fanfare trumpet, patch 10, bam. Let's hear what it sounds like on the other ARP. Patch number 10 on ARP number 2, fanfare trumpet. It's tuned to, it says tuned V, so we're VCO 2, tuned to middle C, and raising the ADSR for brightness. That's it. Also do with here. Fanfare trumpet, patch 10. So yeah, pretty basic patch, 1 oscillator, hard to go wrong. Used in a loop. You know, something like that. I'm doing trumpet moves, but I mean, again, this is like the last patch. You can put this in anything. It's just an interesting brassy, nice brassy sound. So that's patch 10. Cheers.